Welcome back to my channel, spooky friends. In today's episode, we are finishing the Death Eater mask from Harry Potter. After sculpting the mask out with the non-hardening clay, we're going to be using rigid wrap, which is one of my favorite easy-to-use materials that anyone can do. Now with this material, you're going to want to cut it into thin, small strips so that you can work around the ridges and the edges that have been created from the sculpt. Using very warm water, definitely not boiling, but just warm enough where it's like, ooh, that's hot, but not so hot will it'll burn you. You're going to dip the strips into the water and place them onto the sculpt. I started on the lower part of the sculpt and really put in a lot of focus and energy onto that area as well as by the eye socket areas. The bigger, larger strips can go on top to create a smooth surface for the forehead area of the skull. Now the most important part of this is that you take your time. Very, very important. You don't want to rush this process because if you do, you could end up getting breakage. Although it's not the end of the world, you can always fix that later. It's a long process, but keep on keeping on. Make sure the strips aren't too small where they're not giving you any coverage, but make sure they're also not too big so that you can get inside of those details and not have any wrinkling or folding over of the rigid wrap. Once it's all smoothed out, give it 24 hours. Give it the full 24. I know you'll be excited, but don't touch it for 24 hours because that rigid wrap really, really needs to set or you'll get breakage. Once 24 hours has passed, you can remove the sculpt and patch any areas by the bridge and nose and cheek and along the edges with more rigid wrap and wait again another at least 8 hours after making those patches. Then I went ahead and used matte Modge Podge to go over the mask on the front as well as the inside to smooth it out and to allow for the paint to really stick on there. Let that sit for a couple hours and then you can get painting. Using various tones of brown, I mixed them all together and created what I thought the same kind of dirty bone tone that they had. Dirty bone tone. And I put it onto the mask as a wash. So you're going to be using water and sponges to get the base coat down. And then when you lay down the darker colors, you'll also take a little bit of water on your sponge to dilute that color so that it looks like a wash. Now don't be afraid to go light. You can always build up these areas to make them darker with darker paint and less water. But it's important that you start slow. Again, be patient and build the color up. Going from lighter to darker along the edges of the sockets of the eyes and on the sides of the mask itself. With the crack detailing, I went in with a darker brown color and a thin paintbrush, and then I also used some of my matte mix liquid liner to go over it to give it a little bit more depth. This part's optional. You can also use black paint, but the wand for me helped me get those crisp lines, as you can see. Definitely don't forget the bottom edges. And then, once it's all dry, we're going on with another coat of Modge Podge. It will mattify it and give it more of a finished look. Now I just took an old bra strap, cut it off of the bra, and glued it to either side of the mask, allowing this mask strap to be basically, you can make it bigger or smaller because it works like a bra strap. And that's it. Your Dark Lord Death Eater mask is complete. Now get on a hood, some spooky contacts, and work that wand. We are gonna do some dirty deeds. Thank you guys so much for watching. As usual, stay spooky, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All of my social media can be found at SamJamFX.